Who do you think is going to be the biggest surprise on this roster this year?
I think the biggest surprise is going to be Carlos Carrasco, who pitched pretty well just yesterday. And I'll tell you, he's a guy that when the Mets acquired him from the Indians, we thought he was a number two, number three starter. Maybe that's simply not the case anymore. But I think a lot of Mets fans have kind of dismissed the possibility that Carrasco could be a positive for this club. And, he might fall into the number four spot or five spot in the rotation. But I think Carrasco is going to have a good year. I expect good health, solid performance. And, I don't think fans are maybe giving him enough credit.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be a hopeful one for Mets fans because a average Carrasco right now gets this rotation where it needs to be, especially with the absence of Jacob deGrom. Cookie's importance significantly rises. I think the biggest surprise for me is somebody that there are expectations because he was handed decent money, 2-year, $20 million deal in free agency. But Eduardo Escobar, for me, Joe, maybe a different player than we're accustomed to seeing in this lineup. Not necessarily the big on-base threat that they've prioritized over the past. We've seen that with Nimmo, obviously signing Canna, even Pete, obviously good on-base kind of player. But with Escobar, this feels like a player that not just his pop in the middle of the lineup can drastically help, but also the versatility in the infield where you have an injury. Can you shift around? Can you play a solid third base? Can you play a solid second base? So I think for Escobar, coming off a huge spring, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people and be a force in this lineup with, let's be real, yes, he had a cup of coffee with Milwaukee last year, but Joe, spending the most recent part of his career in Arizona, a lineup that's been kind of so-so, this can be a great situation for him as well with much protection.